Okay, we're going to be attempting a long windshield crack repair on Acura I picked up recently, relatively cheaply. Basically, I just need this to pass inspection, and as you can see there, we probably got a crack, I'd say probably about 20 inches long. You can see where the impact point was right there. But basically, I just want to try and get this thing to pass inspection as cheap as possible. Like I said, picked it up super cheap, needed some work. I put an alternator in it and a radiator and some other stuff. But if you guys want to see any other repair videos on this vehicle, I'll have it for a while, so I'll certainly be glad to do so. Just leave your comments below. Also, there'll be a link in the video description for the windshield repair kit that I use, which was relatively cheap. I think I got it for like 10 bucks on Amazon. It's got the suction cup, so we're going to try forcing the resin down to this crack. It is an old crack, so it's possible there could be some dirt and other stuff inside of it, so I'm not sure how well it's really going to work. And I'm also going to attempt to do this without drilling at the end of the crack, which is completely up to you whether or not you want to do so. I'm going to attempt to do it without it. I'm sure probably not the best idea, but as I was reading the back of this windshield repair kit, it actually states that I shouldn't need to, and that it will stop the crack from spreading. So we're going to attempt to do it just to see if it does stop the crack from spreading, and I'll respond in the comments below, you know, after a few months after the repair, and let you know how that goes. But let's go ahead and get this package open and get ready to work. Alright, so what I've actually done here is I put, I didn't have any grease, so I just put some conditioner. Everybody's going to have some conditioner at home, so you can just put some conditioner on the suction cups. And I've screwed this, I've put this down here, I've pre-applied some to make sure it's going to slide well. And you're going to want to screw this in until it sets perfect, so you got a little pressure on the windshield itself. Then we have our actual windshield resin that we're going to repair the windshield crack with, and we're going to go ahead and put some of the resin into the application device here, and then we're just going to go ahead and screw this in. This is what's going to apply the resin. As we screw this down in, that's what's going to force the resin out the tip. And this stuff is activated by the UV rays from the sun, and I'm doing this on an overcasted day, so it's going to give us some extra time for this to cure. All right, so I got a resin, in the tip here, and we're going to go ahead and start applying this. Make sure the suction cups are pushed all the way down. So right now I have a nice tight seal up against the windshield. Just going to start applying a little pressure. See if I can get this a little tighter on there. The tighter fit you have, the tighter this is on the windshield, the better, the more it's going to force that resin into the crack. So you want to make sure, yeah, it's about as tight as it could be without it actually popping off. But right now it seems like I have it pretty tight. So you can start forcing the resin in. And I'm going to go on the inside the windshield and actually push out a little. Hopefully aid in just want to flex that crack a little so the resin actually fills it in. We're just going to slowly pull this along, and let's take a look on the inside, see if we can see it. It does look like it's filling that crack a little, and you can see when I push on it. You can see when I push on it, it actually changes color a little bit. So yeah, you want to push on it and make sure that resin gets in there nicely. Where this is an old crack, like I said, I'm not sure how good it's going to work, but I can definitely see the resin going in the crack, so that's a good sign. So keep nice pressure on that sucker. Just keep feeding the resin in. I'll keep pushing from the inside. Make sure we got you can go over it a few times too, you don't have to. I'm just keeping steady pressure behind it and on top of it. I'm just slowly spinning this in as we go. Okay, so our repair is all done. I'm just going to take a razor blade now and scrape off the excess. And we'll see how it come out. Alright guys, so we got our windshield crack repair done here. And as you can see, there is, at the beginning of the crack where it was actually thinner, it seemed like it filled pretty well and you can't see it very good. That's probably the reason for that is because dirt and stuff wasn't able to get in there. Like I said, this crack was pretty old, and as it gets more towards the thicker part of the crack, you can see I still got some air bubbles and stuff. So that just goes to show you how tricky this repair can be, how hard it is to get all the air out of the crack, and also the age of the crack plays a huge part in how well that repair is going to come out, because this crack was old and it had dirt and debris inside of it. Makes it very difficult to fill it. So if you're trying this repair on a crack, I'd say that's more than 2 or 3 weeks old, it's probably not recommended. And I mean, in real life scenarios, it's not recommended anyways. I mean, this glass plays a big role in the structurality of the vehicle, you know, and once that glass is cracked, they deem it kind of not safe, and that's why it fails for state inspection. So probably not going to be able to get a sticker on this thing still, so it looks like we're probably going to end up having to replace the windshield. But definitely, I mean, definitely worth a shot. If you have a windshield that's not too old, or the crack's not too old, and you just want to get a sticker on it or whatnot, rather than replacing the windshield, this does work. Like I said, at the beginning of the crack, there's probably a good 4 inches at the beginning of this crack that you can't see at all. And then as we get into where it was a little wider and a little thicker, because it had dirt and debris in there, it had a really hard time filling it. But so this is probably a good example of what not to do when you're performing a windshield crack repair, and that is wait too long. And obviously I didn't attempt trying to clean it with some brake clean, probably worth a shot, but I'm not even sure that would work. So I would call this one probably not the best attempt, but appreciate you guys watching, and hopefully it'll be some good advice as to what will work and what won't work when you're trying to repair a cracked windshield. Thanks for watching. If this was helpful, be sure to hit the thumbs up, and I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. Thanks.